Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm a personal bankruptcy attorney here in the Atlanta area. And today I'd like to talk to you about why bankruptcy really may be a good thing for you to think about doing. And I will tell you that in my practice, I deal with a lot of people that I guess one would call middle class, even upper middle class, folks who have worked for a long time, earned a pretty good living, and through no fault of their own, many times the bottom has fallen out. And I think one of the things about our economy now is bad stuff can happen really, really quickly. You can be rocking along, making decent money, paying your bills. All of a sudden, you get laid off, and your lifestyle is premised on, $80, $90, $100,000 a year, and all of a sudden there's nothing. But that doesn't stop the bills from coming. And once you get behind, it starts to roll, and your interest rates goes up to 20%, and the penalties and all this other stuff, negative stuff, starts happening. So I deal with a lot of people who, quite honestly, never in a million years thought they would ever be talking to a bankruptcy lawyer. And a lot of times it's emotional, and you may feel this way too. You may just feel devastated that you're having to talk to a bankruptcy lawyer. You may seem like a personal failure and so forth. And I would tell you that bankruptcy is really a part of our economic system. It's mentioned in the Bible as a way for people to start over again. It's got a long, long history in Western civilization. And really what bankruptcy does, it's a safety valve. It's a way for people to start over. And if you didn't have bankruptcy, what you would have, especially in a capitalistic economy, you would have people that tried to start a business, tried to do something, took a little bit of risk. If it didn't work, they would be stuck forever, not being able to pay it back. So I think the positive about bankruptcy, just in a philosophical sense, is that it's that sort of get out of jail free card. It's that mulligan in golf terms. It's that fresh start. Not something you should do all the time, but it's something that if you need to do it, it can be a very, very powerful and wise financial tool. And here's some thoughts as to why. I think that one of the things that really strikes me when I'm working with people and they're filing bankruptcy, and it's again something that was completely foreign to them maybe even a year ago, is a lot of times the first time they've done a budget. I think it can be really liberating when you sit down and look at your debts and your assets and your expenses in black and white. And when you do a budget, you really see sometimes where the money is going. And obviously, when you're in a bankruptcy attorney's office, the goal many times is to file bankruptcy and get rid of stuff. But part of the process is to look at your budget and say, how can I change this? How can I change my spending habits? What can I get rid of? What can I do to get myself where I'm not running in the red every month? So I think looking at a budget, doing a budget, puts you ahead of a lot of people. A lot of people out there don't do budgets. And when you do bankruptcy, you have to do a budget. So this is a good opportunity to really look carefully at what you are spending your money on every month. And is there a way where you can reduce those expenditures, even to the point of calling the cable company and trying to get a reduction in your cable bill, or reducing your electricity use or your water use? You'd be surprised how often when people pull their checkbook out and they look at their budget, they're just shocked at what they're spending money on. They eat out way too much, or they have a way too high of a cable bill, or they spend too much on dry cleaning. And this is a chance to look at that, and as part of that fresh start, really change your spending habits. I think secondly, it's a way to really look at what you've bought. One of the reasons people end up filing bankruptcy in many cases, not all, but a lot of cases, is they've made bad purchases. They bought a car that they really liked, and they didn't think about the cost of insurance, or they didn't think about the cost of gasoline or maintenance. And so that you look at your purchases and say, going forward, even though I would like to have that nice sports car, I'm going to get something a little more practical, and I'm going to keep my top payment, my limit to maybe $350 a month or $400 a month, as opposed to $650 or $800 a month. And you can really start to see, if you look at it in black and white, why you got yourself into trouble. What were the purchases that you made? And of course, bankruptcy also gives you a way to walk away from that car you can't afford, walk away from the house you can't afford, walk away from the vehicle lease you can't afford, walk away from furniture you can't afford, jewelry, whatever it may be. And again, it's that fresh start. So it can be very liberating to do that and to really think closely and carefully about what you spend your money on and how you can make that better going forward. Because look, bankruptcy is something you should hopefully do once in your life. Sometimes circumstances say otherwise, but ideally just once in your life. So that would be something I would tell you that bankruptcy can do. It can be very helpful to do. I will also tell you that many of my clients tell me that going forward, when they look back at their experience as a through bankruptcy, it will be kind of before bankruptcy and after bankruptcy. Before bankruptcy is when they had all this debt they were dealing with and they were struggling and they were doing everything they could to make ends meet. After bankruptcy, it was this feeling of relief, of peace of mind, where basically things were a lot better. And that's really the way you want to feel about it. That's what bankruptcy can do. It can give you a real peace of mind. It can make you, help you feel like, okay, you've got this huge weight come off your shoulders and you just feel a lot better about life in general. So bankruptcy, again, there's some negatives about it. It can damage your credit for a short period of time. It can be emotionally difficult, but it can also be liberating. It can make you feel free. If you're in sales, for example, you can start focusing on building up your book of business again, and it can be a really positive thing. And I think if you have to do this, look at the positive side of it. Look how this can benefit you, not so much on the negative side of it. And if you have to go through bankruptcy, again, make the best of it. If I can be of help to you in that regard, if I can help explain about this or anything else about the specifics of bankruptcy, please reach out to me. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube and a like on Facebook, and like our YouTube channel and Facebook page. And again, if I can be of assistance, please let me know. Thanks a lot.